She crashed her car on a dark New Hampshire road. A witness saw her standing by the wreckage. 7 minutes later, police arrived. She was gone. Maura Murray was 21 years old, a nursing student at UMass Amherst, track team athlete, Dean's List. By every measure, she was building a future. Her family described her as intelligent, driven, kind. She had friends. She had plans. She wasn't the kind of person who vanishes. But on February 9th, 2004, that's exactly what happened. And 20 years later, no one knows why. The days before Maura disappeared were strange. Not chaotic, not violent, just off. On Thursday, February 5th, Maura was working her campus security job when she received a phone call. Whatever was said during that call shook her. A supervisor found her sobbing at her desk, unable to speak. She was so distraught they had to escort her back to her dorm. She never told anyone what that call was about. 3 days later, on Sunday night, she was at a party with her father in his hotel room. They were looking at cars. Maura had recently crashed her father's Toyota, and he was helping her find a replacement. They ordered pizza. They talked. By all accounts, it was a normal evening. But hours after her father left, Maura sent an email to her boyfriend. In it, she referenced something he'd done, something that hurt her. The tone was raw, confused. The kind of message you write when you're trying to make sense of pain. That same night, she searched directions on her computer. To the White Mountains, to Burlington, Vermont, to the Berkshires. She was looking for something, or running from something. Maybe both. The next morning, Maura didn't go to class. Instead, she emailed her professors. She told them there had been a death in the family, and she'd be gone for a week. There was no death. She called a condo rental service in Bartlett, New Hampshire, asking about availability. The woman on the phone said nothing was available that week. Maura thanked her and hung up. She withdrew $280 from an ATM, nearly all the money she had. Then she went to a liquor store and bought vodka, Kahlua, and Baileys, enough alcohol for several people, or for one person trying to forget. At 3:30 p.m., security footage captured her leaving campus in her black 1996 Saturn sedan. She was alone. She was driving north. And she would never be seen again. Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire is a rural two-lane road that cuts through dense forest. It's quiet, isolated, the kind of place where you can drive for miles without seeing another car. At approximately 7:27 p.m., Maura's Saturn veered off the road and crashed into a snowbank near a sharp curve. The front end crumpled, the windshield cracked, both airbags deployed, but the car was still drivable. A local school bus driver named Butch Atwood was driving home when he saw the wreck. He pulled over. Maura was standing outside the car, alone. He asked if she was hurt. She said no. He asked if she wanted him to call the police. She said no. She'd already called AAA. Butch didn't believe her. There was no cell service in that area. He told her he'd call for help anyway and drove the short distance to his house. He called 911 at 7:43 p.m. When police arrived 7 minutes later, Maura was gone. The Saturn was locked. The driver's side door had a crack, suggesting Maura may have hit her head. Inside the car, police found her belongings: textbooks, clothes, makeup. A bottle of wine was spilled across the passenger seat. The box of wine was found outside the car, partially empty. Her cell phone was inside. It was damaged, but functional. Her debit card and credit cards were still there, but Maura wasn't. Police searched the immediate area with flashlights. They walked the road, they checked the woods. No footprints leading away, no blood, no sign of a struggle. It was as if she had simply stepped out of the car and dissolved into the night. The next morning, a full search began. State police, canine units, helicopters, volunteers, they combed the woods for miles. The dogs picked up Maura's scent near the car, followed it east down Route 112 for about 100 feet, then lost it. Just lost it. As if she'd gotten into another vehicle, or as if she'd never walked that way at all. Search teams checked abandoned buildings, they dragged nearby ponds, they interviewed residents. Nothing. Maura's family arrived and plastered the area with missing person flyers. They knocked on doors, they begged for answers. But the forest kept its secrets. The deeper you look into Maura Murray's disappearance, the more nothing makes sense. Why did she lie about a family emergency? Why did she pack her dorm room as if she wasn't coming back? Her father later said it looked like she'd been planning to leave for good. Why was she driving to the White Mountains in February with no destination, no reservation, and almost no money? And why, after crashing her car, would she leave the scene so quickly? Some say she was running, that she staged the accident and hitchhiked away to start a new life. But if that's true, where is she? In 20 years, not a single confirmed sighting, not a single transaction on her bank accounts, not a single breadcrumb. Others believe she died in the woods that night, that she was disoriented from the crash, wandered into the forest, and succumbed to the cold. But search teams covered miles of terrain. Cadaver dogs found nothing. And how do you explain the scent trail ending abruptly on the road? Then there are the darker theories. A witness reported seeing a man smoking a cigarette in a parked car near the crash site that night. That car was never identified. Another resident claims she heard what sounded like a scream hours after the accident. Was Maura picked up by someone she knew, or by someone she didn't? Maura's family has never stopped searching. Her father spent years driving to New Hampshire, distributing flyers, following leads. He passed away in 2024, never knowing what happened to his daughter. Her sister still speaks publicly about the case, urging anyone with information to come forward. But the forest doesn't speak. The road doesn't remember. And Maura Murray remains a question without an answer. There's a coldness to this case that goes beyond the February snow. It's the kind of cold that seeps into your chest when you realize how fast someone can disappear, how a person can be standing right there, breathing, alive, full of thoughts and fears and plans, and then just not. 7 minutes, that's all it took. 7 minutes between a witness seeing her and the police arriving. In those 7 minutes, Maura Murray walked off the edge of the world. Maybe she ran. Maybe she was taken. Maybe she's still out there somewhere, living a life we'll never know. Or maybe she's been lying beneath those trees for 20 years. We don't know. And that's the most terrifying part. Because somewhere between the crash and the silence, Maura Murray disappeared.